one of the aspects of healthy qi flow in acupuncture and Chinese medicine is the qi flow must be smooth. When people are having problems in a certain area or in general, it's rough. There's an old saying, if the qi is smooth, there is no pain. If there is pain, it is not smooth. So I mean this not just in terms of pain right now, I mean it on a larger, more macro general level. Is your energy smooth? Is your energy settled, flowing smooth, or is it agitated and rough? So that's a very simple, general, simple way of starting to describe how you might start to sense your energy, what's happening with your energy, what's your energy doing, what are you contributing to the energy doing that? But it also gets much more subtle and detailed than that. But that's a very general, simple example. Is my energy right now smooth, or is it a bit jumpy, agitated? Again, in line with this, where is your mind basically? Where is the focal point of your mind? Where is the center of gravity of your attention? Is it in your head? Is it in the chest? Is it just outside the body? You cannot sink the qi and build the qi when the mind is up here. So many people, most people, the qi is too high. It's stuck in their body, stuck in their emotions, stuck in their head, a lot of thinking or worry, or not even those extreme uses of mind, just general tension, living in active, busy Western society. And just because Western society in general is very cerebral, very material, all those influences, basically people are too high with their qi. And so it takes a consistent effort, long-term process to start to change that. To sink and settle the qi. Most people's qi is up here. Start to notice where your qi is. That might not be something you can do right now. Start to notice where your mind is. Because where your mind is where the qi is. So the most important principle that you'll ever hear in terms of working with yourself and internal arts is the mind leads the qi. Where your attention goes is where the qi flows. Where your attention goes is where the energy flows. So start to notice where your mind is, including in terms of time and place. Place within your body, but also in terms of time. The mind leads the qi. So again, just recognizing, oh, I have this thing, I have this mind out here, I have this energy, and lo and behold, I can actually drive this. I can drive this car. I'm actually potentially the driver. I can drive this energy. I can care for this energy. It's there. It's just a matter of developing awareness, sensitivity. It becomes then, once it becomes palpable, it's an amazing experience. It's like discovering an extra limb. You have something you can work with and move. Take an active, powerfully active participation in your health and in the support of your being. So again, qi will naturally sink and therefore start to accumulate and build if we are settled, relaxed, at ease. In Tai Chi and Aikido, we use the term weight underside. Now we'll explore that another time, but basically settling. If we're totally at ease and relaxed, natural, qi basically sinks with gravity, sinks on its own. That's why if you, a lot of people that have lived a long time, if you've looked into them at all or read any of their statements, very aged people, they're doing quite well. Ask them, what's their secret to longevity? pretty much every one of them, they'll have a few things like what to eat, what not to eat, perhaps. But there's also a continuous theme there. They'll say, you know, when I look back on my life, there were so many things I got so caught up in, so worried about, it just wasn't worth it. And so just kind of relax, enjoy the ride, enjoy the flow, enjoy yourself. There's a continuous theme of that advice. There is a legendary figure in China who lived very, very old. Well, he was said to have lived like 250 some years old. So of course, there's some debate on whether that was actually accurate. But when he was asked what was the secret to his longevity, he said something like, sleep like a dog, walk like a chicken, and something like that. It's not too far off from that Zen quote of chop wood, carry water. So what he was saying is, when you sit. When you're chopping wood, just chop wood. When you're doing dishes, just do dishes. When you're walking, walk. In other words, when you're walking, why are you taking your whole life with you? And thinking about this, thinking about that, you know, and why are you still revving the car engine? You're sitting in your chair. Why are you still revving the engine? So when this very, very famous sage was asked, okay, walk like a chicken, sleep like a dog. Okay, can you give me something more simple, more straightforward? And so his ultimate answer to longevity was, keep a quiet heart. When you're agitated, when you're too much in the head, when you're living up here, you never get a chance to settle. You never get a chance to build your reserves. And compounding that, making it worse, is your nervous system is always buzzing. Your nervous system is always in fight or flight. So not only are you not building energy, you are frying the wires. Because the nervous system, again, especially in our society, is continually frazzled, fried, in some sort of level of fight or flight or freeze. The antidote to all this is to be able to notice what you're doing. Again, Ting, or awareness, has to be the first step, and continuing to refine and develop that. Once you know there's something to work with, and there's things you can do to work with mind, qi, you start to work with them on faith consistently. Make it a mission so it's consistent, even though it's on faith. So even though you don't feel anything yet, you're doing it. So relaxing, settling the body. First, this idea of passively, naturally, the qi will settle and sink, and then it has a chance to build, because energy can't build upon itself if it's frittered or expanding or moving. Energy can only build upon itself when it's in one time and one place together. Then it can start to build, and you have to keep adding to it, keep doing it daily. Otherwise, it dissipates too easily. It's like steam. It's gone real quick. If there's a gust of wind, it's gone. If there's a gust of wind, a strong thought, strong worry, strong anxiety, that puff of steam is gone. So you have to do it continually, daily, and it can slowly start to build. That place where it builds is below the navel. The easiest place to start with is the bowl of the hips. To tell you the truth, this gets a little bit confusing, so I'm trying to boil it down in terms for it. So it's simple, and also for our purposes, it is quite straightforward and simple. But different systems, different styles actually locate the Dan Qin in different places. Generally, it's the lower abdomen, but it can be a little, specifically where it is can vary depending on whether, is it Tai Chi, is it Qigong, is it other types of internal martial arts like Bakwa. Bakwa has it in a slightly different place, more towards the rear. And even within acupuncture, generally, depending on the lineage of the acupuncture school, the actual location of the Danqian point can vary, is different from one lineage to another. So for our purposes and to start with, those things don't matter. It's generally the area of the lower abdomen. What I found useful to tell, I couldn't really relate to the lower abdomen, and probably most people can't. It takes a long time to be able to get a sense of getting the mind down there. These things take time. What I found much more useful was the bowl of the hips, because the physical skeletal structure of the pelvic girdle is, you can kind of think of it kind of like a basin, a receptacle. So that was very, very helpful to me, because there was something real, an actual shape in the pelvic area, an actual receptacle. So I had something I could imagine that my mind and breath were settling down into. So the basic holding area for the chi, storage area, and becoming eventually a rechargeable battery is the bowl of the hips. So just below the navel and the central core of the lower torso. So from the about 2 inches below the navel, all the way down to the pelvic floor, in the very core, very center core of the torso.